Right, YouTube, welcome back to another video. That was a slightly lighter session going in this morning, but still spicy nonetheless. Right there, we had some aerobic work. We had 800 meter ski, 800 meter row, followed by 3,000 meters on the urge bike. The whole goal of that session was to improve aerobic endurance. In the testing week, in which you would have seen in last week's video, me and the coach hopped on a call. We assessed the results in which we got from the testing week, and the main thing in which we decided we needed to improve on was aerobic endurance. So for that session there was a 70-minute time cap. Like I say, 800 meter row, 800 meter ski, 3,000 meter urge bike. The goal was to try and keep my heart rate in and around 135 beats per minute. We managed to do that quite nicely. Felt good, felt comfortable. So we're just cooling down now for 10 minutes on the urge bike, and then I will be home to whip up meal one. But I'm going to be taking you through my whole weekend. So stay tuned and speak soon. And with that being said, we do, so let me just make sure this is all on, looking nice and tidy. And with that being said, we do have the next two HYROX races lined up as well. Istanbul in August, which hasn't been booked yet, but is on the cards. I literally need to book it this weekend, to be fair. And we have Birmingham coming up in October, which I managed to get tickets for earlier this week. And I can honestly say that was intense. Like, I was on the edge of my seat. It just goes to show how much HYROX is growing. In the past, bearing in mind I've had early access codes for each race in which I've booked, I've always been around about number 5,000, 7,000 in the queue, like to the point where I'm like, oh, right, that's fine, like I'm gonna secure tickets, and I managed to get a race on the day in which I want to race. This time round was number 15,000 in the queue, and then that number just kept on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Before I know it, I get round to getting into the app, the website, whatever it is, went to buy my tickets. Me and Reese had the plan of doing, I think it was a solo either Friday or Saturday, a solo each, and then doing pro double men's on Sunday. Everything from about Thursday onwards had sold out, but by the time I got round to securing my tickets. So I ended up getting a doubles, an open doubles, we couldn't do pros because that was all sold out, an open doubles for Tuesday, and my solo now being on the Wednesday. In Istanbul, the solos are on the Saturday and the doubles are on the Sunday. So yeah, we'll be hitting up a doubles with Reese again, then we'll have my solo on that Saturday in Istanbul, and then yeah, I guess we'll be kind of repeating that in Birmingham. But no, all in all, I will go into them in a little bit more depth and kind of the game plan moving on from here in regards to what I need to improve on, what information we kind of gathered from that testing week, and the goals for Istanbul and Birmingham, which I'm super fucking excited about. But anyway, just wrapped up a busy day behind the desk. We had new starters to set up today, consultation calls, catch-up calls. Feeling absolutely exhausted right now. I can't lie, my battery is like, it's down here. I went like this then to almost say my battery's about here, and then yeah, so say like this is like a full battery, my battery's like here. But we have an upper body session to hit today. We have a full body upper double session today, so we're gonna head to the gym now. We're gonna get that done. Like I say, really don't want to fucking train, but when we don't want to train, what do? We train. You're gonna have to forgive me because I've got a new tripod on order. It's arriving soon, but right now I'm still on this little mini tripod for my DJI. Lost my other tripod, not sure where that went, not a clue. I think I actually lost it in Bali. But yeah, I'll try and get what I can on film. Bear with though, better training montages to come. Right, so it is the next morning and we have another base run. That was last night's upper body session. I will leave the session there if you are interested, but really enjoyed that session, despite the fact that I was absolutely cooked by the end of the day and I did not want to go to the gym. It ended up being a very good session, which funnily enough, them ones always do. But anyway, base run this morning, 8K going in the legs, staying in zone 2. That is going to be one of the main things for me to improve on during this next training block leading into my next race is my aerobic development, which I will get onto later this video. But as of right now, let's get to work. Good morning, gang. As you can see, it is a beautiful bank holiday weekend, beautiful. But anyway, it's the following morning. Didn't get up to much later that day, kind of just chilled, got some work done. The standard Saturday evening for me nowadays. It wasn't actually a double session day, funnily enough, but I am actually behind on one sled density day this week, which I most likely will box off next week. On average, I've got around about 10 sessions a week right now, so I could always double up on a day in which I'm only training once. But yeah, just gonna round out this video here. Didn't film anything from this morning session. It was literally just a nice, easy 40 minutes on the stairs, 1 hour on the urge bike, keeping my heart rate within zone 2. Because like I said, that is gonna essentially be the main focus for me in this training block in order to improve going into my next race. After the testing week, we kind of discovered that I'm strong enough. My peak power testing was fairly good as well, but what is lacking is my aerobic endurance. So the main focus of this training block for me is to do a lot of sessions, whether that is base run, stairmaster, urge bike, keeping my heart rate in and around 135 beats per minute, and get used to spending time in zone 2 in order to increase that aerobic endurance, so that way when I'm racing, heart rate isn't spiking and going through the roof, which it didn't necessarily on the aerobic testing, but there was a big spike from start to say mid-run, and then it kind of just held there. So what we're wanting to do is on these runs, keep my heart rate in and around, like I say, 135. Try not to let my heart rate spike too much, and just overall spend more time in zone 2 in order to increase that aerobic endurance, because then ultimately I will last longer and be more consistent when racing. With that, like I said, my power is good enough, my strength is good enough. If anything, my coach said we can afford to lose a little bit of strength, so that's not really a main focus right now. So in regards to how my training structure looks throughout the week, I've got 2 full upper body days, I've got 1 lower body day, and then the rest of my sessions are made up of aerobic mixes, sled density, some intervals, and base runs. Trying to think if there's anything else. I don't believe so, no. But all in all, absolutely loving my training at the minute. Absolutely fucking loving my training at the minute. Like, getting me out of the gym right now is the issue, not getting me in the gym. Getting me out of the gym right now is the issue. So yeah, really excited for this next training block, leading into what will be Istanbul, right? So the next 2 races are lined up. We've got Istanbul, start of August, where I will be doing an open solo, and then me and Reese will be doing an open doubles. We're going for a flag. We reckon we'd have to get at least a 3-minute PB from our last race together. So we'd have to pretty much go sub 55 in order to secure a flag based off of last season's Istanbul results. So that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming for sub 55 and we're aiming for a flag. And then I did manage to get tickets for Birmingham, which, let me tell you now, was intense, right? This just goes to show how quickly HYROX is growing as a sport. But I got the early access code from the HYROX affiliated gym in which I've just signed up at. I then went onto the link in order to put in the early access code and redeem my tickets. I was number 15,000 in the queue. I've never been that far back in the queue before. And then with that, by the time I got on, everything had pretty much sold out from Thursday onwards, and I only managed to get Tuesday and Wednesday. So with that, me and Reese are doing another open doubles Tuesday. We wanted to give pro doubles a go because the goal in which we had in mind was if we podiumed and got a flag in Istanbul. Then from there, the next steps would be pro doubles, and we try and work our way up the ranks there. But couldn't do a pro doubles, so I guess that would have to wait for me and Reese. And with that, we're doing another doubles on Tuesday. That's in Birmingham, and then my solo is the day after on Wednesday, so looking forward to that. And then XL tickets are coming out soon as well, so I most likely will look to secure my spot for that. And then I'm actually umming and ahhing about Tenerife in September, really not too sure, but either way we'll kind of weigh up our options closer to the time. Right now the focus is Istanbul. Really excited for it. Fully locked in from here, fully locked in from here, and cannot wait. But anyway, that is everything for this YouTube video. Like, share, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.